So we're very delighted to have Dr. Randell with us, and would you please join me in welcoming Charles.
Thank you very much, Gerald. Just going to take a moment to get myself set up here. After Les has raised the bar so high, you're expecting great insights on international collaboration. It's a bit of a daunting exercise now, and I hope not to disappoint. First, I'd like to thank ISDP and Oceans Advance for the invite to speak. And ladies and gentlemen, delegates, who I hope by the end of tomorrow, I'll just be referring to you as friends. I have to confess up front that I am not some kind of international alliance broker or an expert in frameworks and mechanisms for international collaboration. I'm actually very much a pragmatist and a realist, and we do things, or I do things, because they make sense to me in furthering the objectives of SECOR and what we were set up to do. And in that vein, I've been involved in putting together a number of international collaborations. We do it because we believe in it, because we have seen it work. I have seen, I've been privileged to be part of some that have worked very, very well. Excuse me for just one moment, I get fully set up here. And I've been part of some that haven't worked so well, typically because we hadn't taken the time up front to do it correctly. So your work here and your discussions here over the next couple of days are going to be very important. This roundtable is bringing together academia, industry, and government, so although daunting in my task, I certainly feel quite at home because, in fact, as Les has said, that's the model that SECOR built its business on. 36 years ago, there was potential for oil and gas industry off our coast out here, as some of the previous speakers have addressed. But there were big questions on how you safely and economically have year-round operation in the presence of icebergs and sea ice. Industry had a significant problem that, if it wasn't addressed, it could be a showstopper to our industrial development. There was a lot of research being done to understand the problem, but there wasn't a lot being done to build on that understanding and develop solutions. That very applied component wasn't considered good science at universities. It's not the things that scholarly papers are generated from, and it's not the things that you get science and research grants for. So in 1975, the president of Memorial University and the dean of engineering at the time partnered with the oil and gas industry to create SECOR to span that gap between academic research and industrial need, the development of commercial industrial solutions. The principles of SECOR were to conduct applied research and development designed to solve problems related to development of cold ocean resources, to educate and train young scientists to work in the ocean environment, and to contribute to the development of Newfoundland and Labrador as a center for ocean engineering excellence. We have changed a lot over the last 35 years. We have expanded, we have grown, but those guiding principles on which SECOR was founded are as relevant today as they were 36 years ago. Today we provide research and development services in three technical areas: remote sensing, especially satellite monitoring, and especially satellite monitoring of the oceans, ice engineering, and geotechnical engineering. In fact, in the spirit of collaboration, our Director of Geotechnical Engineering and a small team from that group are going to China for the second time this year at the invitation of PetroChina to look at some of the permafrost and changing permafrost conditions that Dr. May had addressed and the effects that it may have on the Modal pipeline. Excuse me. The work that we do encompasses technology adaptation, or if the right technology doesn't exist, we develop it. We do a lot of testing and integration, as well, of course, as advancing scientific knowledge and engineering processes to solve operational challenges in the natural resource sectors and for governments. Some say, rightly, that what we do is not good science. I agree with them, and quite frankly, I don't care too much about that. That's not our job. Our job is not to generate a lot of scholarly papers. Our job is to take research and turn it into sound, solid, reliable, repeatable, previously unavailable solutions to advance our clients' capabilities. And at the end of the day, to make sure that we can pay the bills. SECOR is a not-for-profit corporation and a self-reliant, separately incorporated entity of Memorial University. So I'm often asked, what does a self-reliant, separately incorporated entity mean? It means that we have the independence to do what we need to do to further our objectives, to get our job done, but it also means there's no safety net. At the end of the year, if we have not generated sufficient revenue to sustain the organization, there is no plan for the university or for the government to come to our aid and bail us out. That reality gives us quite a bit of focus and really is a key to our longevity. So how is that working for us? To date, we've secured well in excess of $150 million for research and development. The vast majority of that was over the last decade. We've increased annual net revenue every year, including during the last 3 years of this global turndown. And over the last 5 years, we have doubled our revenues. Our fiscal year ends next week at the end of March. Our forecast for next year is to increase revenue by 35% over what we did this year. Almost entirely that increase is going to be on research and development related to ocean resources issues. Focus is our key, but the people are really the essential ingredient and the key to Seacor's success and stamina. We have 80 amazing employees from 15 different countries. So having that multicultural, multinational complexion to our staff is a real bonus as we go out and work in the world. These people are passionate about research and development, passionate about problem solving, and passionate about technology development. The tougher the problem is, the more tenacious the team is to get the answer. They never say, can we do it? They always say, how can we do it? And that question is usually followed by, who else can we bring in to help solve this problem? We strive to be world class, but no one, as had been mentioned by some of the previous speakers, has a monopoly on technological and research excellence. That in itself is reason enough for us all to be here at this meeting and to discuss how we collaborate internationally. We're in a global economy, and if you want to be truly successful in technology development, research, and commercialization in this international market, you need to access the top talent. So we seek to build collaborations based on capability and drive, no matter where in the world we have to go to find it. Sometimes the stars align, and we get the added benefit from those collaborations of access to new markets. In fact, foreign market access is sometimes the reason for developing these international collaborations. We collaborate on both sides, academia on one side, industry on the other. We collaborate and work very closely with Memorial University, of course. Not only is our home on the university campus there, but we have links and collaborations at every level. We employ Memorial undergraduate students and provide provides financial support and supervision to graduate students. Last year we achieved a milestone that I'm very proud of. We provided support to our 1,000th student. This is an important part of our partnership with academia, with Memorial. Part of our sustainability strategy at Seacor is the engagement of those students early on, since I'm looking at them as Seacor's future employees and our future. It's also a way for us to stay on the leading edge of technology development. We have 80 people, we do 100 contracts a year. The average length of those contracts is 4 months. So we're not able very often to dig in and do the more fundamental R&D that's needed to keep us on that leading edge and always have the latest and greatest capabilities and knowledge for problem solving. So the graduate students and being able to mentor and supervise the graduate students to develop that capability is very important to us. It's also an important recruitment strategy. Employees at Seacor have the opportunity for continuous learning and advanced degrees through our partnership with Memorial. I started at Seacor as a technician, then over the years did a bachelor's degree, a master's, and a PhD. It's also, as we go into various different technology areas, we need the capability, and we look to the university to help develop those capabilities for us. In geotechnical engineering, we support a faculty position in geotech because we need students coming out that are aware of it. We need someone who's going to be generating that human capacity. And Memorial benefits from the employment opportunities for students, the funding, the research opportunities, and the increased access to an industrial R&D market. Collaboration is deeply embedded in our corporate culture. I'd mentioned the revenue growth. Fully 1/3 of the revenue that flows into Seacor goes right back out again to our partners across Canada and in other countries. Many, many countries. Much of what we do involves building and maintaining partnerships, very similar to what we're going to be discussing at this round table. We sit, if you will, at the center of a Venn diagram. In my world, Secor is at the center of my world, so I'm also at the center of this Venn diagram. So the links that we need to continue to grow, to succeed, are with academia, of course, with government bodies and agencies, with our provincial government, with Government of Canada, and with government bodies in other countries. Within our province, and within Canada, the relationships that we have with the government take many forms. Sometimes they're a funding partner. Sometimes they're a client to whom we provide a service. We provide radar development and satellite monitoring and defence for the government. Sometimes they're a research partner with the Canadian Hydrographic Society, CHS, where we do a lot of bathymetric work to understand more about ice risk and ice scours. Internationally, government agencies are either a client or a research partner. Just yesterday we finalised the wording on a memorandum of understanding with the Danish Meteorological Institute, where we will partner and work together to seek new opportunities offshore Greenland. And we partner with the industry, particularly the natural resource industries, locally, nationally, and internationally. Most often, there are clients and the end users of the research and development that we conduct and the specialized services that we provide. But also, and this is critically important, we partner with the small technology companies or niche service providers who can bring emerging and new technologies to market for commercialization. 18 companies trace their roots back to Secor, several born out of a couple of the collaborative projects that I'll be talking about. We've survived in this often confusing, very grey milieu that exists between applied research and development and commercialization. We've sustained growth over the last 35 years. We've diversified from one market to now 50% of our revenue is international. As executives, we like to boast that performance is based on the fruits of hard labour, prescience, entrepreneurial drive, and a world-class team. That's what I continue to tell my board anyway. But while that's true, the real vehicle for our success is collaboration. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to give you a couple of examples of international collaborative projects we have been involved in. Thank you. That's all right. Thank you, sir. In 1997, I'm also conscious of the time here. In 1997, we embarked on a harsh environments initiative serving as the prime contractor to the European Space Agency to implement a program aimed at transferring technologies that were developed for space applications to terrestrial operations in harsh environments. In particular, we were targeting offshore oil and gas and mining industries. Our approach to doing this was to first identify the operational priorities of those sectors, oil and gas and mining. We did it through specialist workshops, through one-on-one meetings, and with companies that were potentially end users of